secret here? Keep working at first.
Wait, let me be quiet. Look. Monster living. Monster living. Monster living, boy. Chop. Fish on, fish gone. We got no faulty equipment going on. Reels, rods, how to treat, how to don't treat them. We got Hassan. If you don't buy anything, if you don't get reel fixed, everyone knows Hassan. Fixes every single thing, reel, rods, everything. Again, well, I can ask Hassan about when you finish fishing, and so you finish fishing, what you can do with this, how you can take care of this reel, how you can take care of that reel. I got my spin fisher, my big dog. I don't really fish with these anymore. This is actually, I actually use this to fly kites with, but this is my first ever reel I had in this.
Alright, now, saltwater fishing reels. They're of course made in a saltwater environment. It does not mean that they're made for this. That is not what you're doing with a saltwater reel in salt water. Even waterproof reels, like this fellow right here, and when I say waterproof, it's waterproof in some areas, are not made for constant submersion in salt water unless you plan to service them extremely often. No. The average fishing reel that you will buy from your fishing shop is not going to be a waterproof reel unless you're spending a few $100s. No. Barring the odd occasion where you do drop your reel in the sand or the salt water, you should keep it out of sand and salt water. The reason being, salt gets in, it does not come out. The water will evaporate, leave the salt, it will corrode your reel. If at any time you get your reel fully submerged in salt water, then you need to get it serviced. There's no two ways about it. It is going to stay in there and it is going to corrode your reel. If you are one of the people that stand in the surf and fish, with waves hitting you and getting you wet constantly, then you will need to eventually get your reel serviced, and you need to do it fairly often, especially if it's a non-waterproof reel. Now, whenever you go fishing and you come back home, clean your reel. You know, if you don't clean it, or if you do clean it, makes no difference to saltwater submersion and what I just showed you. That is going to get everything in your reel fouled up. And sand is just as bad or worse. Sand is literally like liquid sandpaper. It grinds everything in your reel to dust. So though these are saltwater reels, you do not want them submerged in salt water. And though you may get sand on them, you do not want them in the sand continually. you want to make sure that you keep them as clean as possible, barring the occasion where something falls over, you catch that big fish, and for some reason you drop your reel. But if you do get it submerged or really roll it in the sand, you either need to have it disassembled and clean, or do it yourself if you know how. Basic Repair 101, Fish Prickers Edition. Okay, after every use on your reel, after every time you take it out, you go fishing, whether you catch that fish or don't, you're going to make sure you take your reel home and you're going to rinse it properly. You're going to hold it like this, under running water, and rinse. The reason for holding it like this and not like this or like that is that water tends to get into it more, especially in non-waterproof reels. This reel in particular is waterproof in the gear casing and in the drag assembly. So it's not a big thing for this one, but in general, you don't want to hold it, get too much water inside of it, because it takes a while to evaporate off. So you're going to hold it under running water, give it a good rinse. And when I say good rinse, I mean a good rinse. So after you've rinsed, rub the surfaces. A neglected area is often the line roller. The line roller itself does a lot of work, and most people never clean it properly. So let's take a toothbrush, give it a brush, it rolls around as you brush it, so it should get all the sides of it. Clean that off properly. That is something that a lot of people just let salt build up in continually, and then it gets really hard to service. Clean that out properly, and just brush around the areas of the bail and so on. Little moving parts there. Just a quick brush, and if you want to, just around the edge of your handle, those kind of areas. Nothing fancy. Alright, now after you've done that, you're just going to spin your reel off. It pushes some of the water out of it. Then after that, you're going to let it dry. After your reel dries, then you can talk about proper lubrication. Now, well, this hasn't dried yet, but when your reel is dried thoroughly, you want to lubricate it. Now, by lubrication, for everyday use, all you need to do is lubricate, especially again, the line roller. The line roller and all of the moving points on the bail assembly and your handle and these external areas here that are in motion when you're fishing. After that, that's good. Now, lubricants. This is not a lubricant for a fishing reel. Neither is this. Clipper oil is not a lubricant for a fishing reel. You want something not like WD-40 either. You do not want something that is solvent based that is going to take grease out of your reel. I have literally seen reels that people have sprayed in WD-40 and the outside is lovely and shiny, and on the inside it looks like degraded motor oil, because all of the grease has melted down in solvent, which WD-40 is, or CRC, or a lot of other penetrants, and it's just, the gears are completely dry now, and instead of having a nice clean reel on the inside, you have a reel that's essentially grinding on itself. So for external lubrication, you want to use something like the Penn Precision oil, the synthetic oil. You want to use something like Relax. You can use corrosion block oil. Now, if you don't have a reel specific or a saltwater specific lubricant, you can use something like let's say maybe 3-in-1 oil, those kinds of things, but they will not last as long. They're not going to stand up as long as saltwater burn, so you'll have to reapply more often. But after every use, basic rinse and basic external lubrication. Now, after that, after you've been fishing for a couple of weeks, you've been fishing for, you know, however long, depending on how often you fish, you will want to give your reel a bit more thorough service. So you're going to take it apart, you're going to take the top off of it, take the drag knob off. Done. Now, this reel in particular is waterproof in a lot of areas, so you'll have minimal service on these types of reels. On other reels, you're going to need to go a little bit further into it. This drag is already waterproof, so you don't need to clean the drag in that usually. You'll just want to take a brush, again running water to these surfaces underneath, and you want to take your handle off. Some spin off, some have a bolt that comes right through the other side of it, and you can take that off. You take this apart. This in the gear casing is waterproof, so you don't have to worry with the gear casing these in general. Now these, use a grease barrier here. So you want to reapply an appropriate grease. Now again, any and every grease doesn't go into the reel. If you use molybdenum grease, if you use grease that are too hard, they cause a lot of friction in your reel, and then it makes it worse than it is. You can actually put greases in that foul your bearings and make them very, very noisy. So again, you can use stuff like I think there's a relax grease. You can use stuff from Ardent, which I use when I service. You can use corrosion block grease, but generally stuff that is more of a gel consistency, not too hard, and it's rated for use on bearings. When you're dealing with these parts now, sometimes you may need to take off the bill if you get salt built inside of the bill as well. And just service around these areas. If there's a grease barrier, we add a little grease here to protect it, or oil in certain anti-reverse mechanism. This ring in particular, this is a clutch anti-reverse, so there's no little tongue in there to lubricate. But those are areas that you will need to take the spool off the valve in your motor and get underneath it and just lubricate those areas properly by cleaning them first. Now, after you've been fishing for a few months, depending on how hard you fish, maybe a year or a little more than a year, you will want to give the reel a full service. So you're going to take everything all the way down. You're going to clean all the parts. If you can't do it yourself, you can have someone that knows what they're doing do it, and rebuild it with the proper greases and oils for the right areas of your reel. You cannot put grease everywhere, you cannot put oil everywhere. There are gears in here. This case, and again, is waterproof, so this will need minimal servicing. But there are areas in a lot of reels that are not waterproof that you will need to disassemble and take the grease out. Grease breaks down over time. Salt builds up inside the reels, the water comes out, salt does not. So what you will end up with is grease that is full of salt. I have literally seen grease that looks like chalk, and it does nothing to the reel. And the fact that your reel is spinning nice and free doesn't always mean it's properly lubricated. There are reels that spin nice and free that are rust buckets. It's just there's no friction at particular points that it's spinning on. So I think that's pretty much it. But reel care can save you a lot of money. It can save you a lot of time. It can catch you that fish that got away. One more thing. Drag assemblies are very finicky when it comes to lubrication. Greasing a drag, you need to know what kind of drag you have, what kind of lubrication, whether it's oil or grease that you use, and the right quantities. If you put the wrong thing in your drag, then you either have no drag or you have drag that binds, and you want to be very careful with that as well. But that's pretty much it.
Playing that rock? You so far out? Yeah, you can come in here now. Hold it here. Hold my phone for me. Hold your phone. I'm sorry, Dad. Keep it here. ไปเที่ยวป่าได้สนุก
อ๋อ
Ayan, watch mo lang kasama.
Sao vậy á?